Hare Krishna, welcome to our daily reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. So before starting Srimad Bhagavatam, let me offer my respectful obeisances to Srila Prabhupada and all my listeners, begging you please shower your mercy on me and forgive me all my shortcomings and forgive my English. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Chinamine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gaudavani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pasachade Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hey Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Jinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kantarada Kanta Namasute Tapta Kanchana Gorangira De Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavana Suchi Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakao Patarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 4, text 15. Let me just set up something here, please. Just a second, please. Okay. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 4, text 15, Vidura meets Maitreya. Konu isha te pada saroja bhajam sudurlabhorta shuchaturshu apiham tatapi naham pravrinomi bhumam bhavapadam bhojani shivanotsuka. Synonyms. Kahanu isha, O my Lord, te, your, pada saroja bhajam, of the devotees engaged in the transcendental loving service of your Lord's feet. Sudurlabha, every difficult to obtain. Artishu, in the matter of. Chaturshu, in the four objectives. Api, in spite of. Iha, in this word. Tata api, yet. Na, do not. Aham, I. Pravrinomi, prefer. Bhumam, O Great One. Bhavat, your. Pada ambuja, lotus feet. Nishevana utsukkaha, anxious to serve. Translation. O my Lord, devotees who engage in the transcendental loving service of your lotus feet have no difficulty in achieving anything within the realm of the four principles of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. But, O Great One, as far as I am concerned, I have preferred only to engage in the loving service of your lotus feet. Again the verse, O my Lord, devotees who engage in the transcendental loving service of your lotus feet have no difficulty in achieving anything within the realm of the four principles of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. But, O Great One, as far as I am concerned, I have preferred only to engage in the loving service to your lotus feet. So this verse here is Uddhava speaking with the Lord when he met him at Badarikashrama. This was the Lila where Krishna, he leaves this material world, or he disappears from this world. So Krishna has his birth, his activities, and his disappearance. And at Badarikashrama, he was seated under a banyan tree, and suddenly Maitreya Muni, he arrived at the spot, and then Uddhava arrived at the spot, because there Krishna was ready to leave his mortal activities, or he was ready to leave the activities of this mortal world. And before leaving, he wanted to instruct Maitreya and Uddhava. So Uddhava was a pure devotee of Krishna. But Maitreya is described as a jnani. So he was not a pure devotee of Krishna. Maitreya was a mixed devotee. He had some attraction for the philosophy, for jnana, for the impersonal manifestation of the Lord. But Uddhava, no. Uddhava, as far as he was concerned, he just wanted to offer devotional service to his Lord. So this is the situation here, is Uddhava talking with Lord Krishna. Prabhupada explains in the purport, those who are associated with the Lord in the Vaikuntha planets achieve all the bodily features of the Lord. And appear to be the same as Lord Vishnu. So this is a kind of liberation called Sarupya Mukti. Sarupya Mukti, one develops one's body, the same characteristic of the Lord in the Vaikuntha planets. Uddhava, he had attained Sarupya Mukti. It is described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam when he went to Vrindavana to deliver the message of Lord Krishna to the gopis. When the gopis saw Uddhava, they were completely fascinated about him, because his features were exactly as the features of Lord Krishna, with a slight difference. But Uddhava was bluish in color. He has his eyes like petals, lotus petals, and beautiful long hair. What's the word? Trying to find a word. Anyways, so beautiful hair, and he had the same characteristics of the Lord, Swarupya Mukti. Such liberation is called Swarupya Mukti, Prabhupada says, which is one of the 5 kinds of liberation. So there are the Sayuja Mukti. Sayuja Mukti is the liberation of becoming one with the Lord. This is what the Mayavadis, they try to reach, oneness with the Lord. The Brahma effulgence of the Lord. They try to merge themselves with the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. This is called Sayuja Mukti. And there are other kinds of muktis, like Swarupya Mukti, which is to have the same features of the Lord. Srasti Mukti, which means to have the same opulence as the Lord. And there are two more, Salokya Mukti, to live in the same planet as the Lord. Salokya Mukti. So in this way, the devotees, they can attain all these kinds of liberations. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in this third canto, Kapila Muni, when he instructs his mother Devahuti, he tells her that devotees, they even accept 4 kinds of liberation. Sarupya, Salokya, Samipya, to have a friendship with the Lord. Salokya, to live in the same planet. They accept all these kinds of muktis, but one mukti they reject completely, which is Sayuja Mukti. They neglect to merge into the body of the Lord. As Prabhupada says in one lecture, it's craziness if you're a boy, he borns, and as soon as he starts to speak, and he tells his mother, "Mother, I want to go back to your womb." Prabhupada says that. So it is craziness. So to go back, to go to the Brahman, impersonal Brahman, so this is not healthy at all. This is crazy. So devotees, they reject the idea of liberation. They don't want to get themselves liberated from anything. The only thing they want is to offer devotional service. Devotees, they don't care with anything but to please the Lord, to serve the Lord. Prabhupada explains, the devotees engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord never accepted the Sayuja Mukti, or merging in the race of the Lord called the Brahmāṇḍa-bhitare. The devotees can achieve not only liberation, but any success in the realm of religiosity, economic development, or sense gratification, up to the standard of the demigods in the heavenly planets. Although the devotees, they can achieve all kinds of liberations, they can achieve all kinds of benedictions of this world, they do not care. They do not care. It says here, any success in the realm of religiosity, economic development, or sense gratification, and moksha as well, liberation. So this success of success in the material world, which is religiosity, dharma, artha, moksha. Dharma means religiosity. Dharma artha means development. So devotees, they don't care about development of this material world, to obtain things in this material world. They don't care about enjoying, because dharma artha moksha. Dharma artha, when you develop some natural religiosity, so you start to try to obtain material things. You can see in all mundane religions, people, they are just after development, material development, artha. And because they want artha, they want development, they start to enjoy this material world. And after enjoying this material world, they get tired of it, and then they try to attain moksha, liberation. But devotees, they don't care about that. This is in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the second verse, first canto, right in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. It says, Dharma projita kaitavotra, Dharma projita kaitavotra, paramodin matsadanam satam, Vidyam vastavam atra vastu shivadanta patrayam mulanam, Shrima Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kinva Parair Ishvara, Sadyo Ridi Avarujite Tra, Kirchibishu Shrusubita Takshana. That Dharma Projita Kaitavo Tra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. Devotees, they reject Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. They reject the principle of religiosity, material development, karma, lust, desires for these material things, and moksha, to be free from material things. So Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Dharma Projita Kaitavotra. Srimad Bhagavatam starts telling that just renounce all this teaching religion, this cheating Dharma. It's just a cheating. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is just cheating. So a devotee, he doesn't care about Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Prabhupada says here in his purport, the devotees can achieve not only liberation, but any success. So although they do not care, they attain. The devotees, they have everything that they need. Krishna provides everything to the devotees. Devotees, they can enjoy this material world, but they don't want. They can be free from this material world, moksha, but they don't care. So they care only with devotional service. But such a pure devotee as Uddhava refused to accept all such facilities. A pure devotee wants simply to engage in the service of the Lord and does not consider his own personal benefit. So this is the nature of a devotee. He doesn't consider his own personal benefit. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs us in his Shikshasana prayers. He says that Nadanam Najanam Nasundari Kavitam Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Jamani Jamani Shari Bhavataba Chira Haitu Kitwai. I have no desire, Nadanam, of material richness. I don't care about anything of this material world. Nadanam. Nadanam Najanam. I don't care about birth. I don't care if I'm going to take a birth in the heavenly kingdom, in the planets where the demigods live. I don't care about that. Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundari. I don't care about women. I don't care about beautiful women. So all this material world is being moving after sex. Men are after women, and women are after men. So this is the nature of this material world. But a devotee, he doesn't care about sex life. Sex life, he cares by procreating child. God counts his child in the family life. So they care about this kind of sex. They care about economic development. But what's that? Just to have whatever they need. Devotees, they live a simple life. They live a simple life. So Nadanam Najanana Sundari Kavitamba Jagadisha Kamaya. I don't want to be a poet. I don't want to be a scholar. I don't care with anything about these material qualifications. The only thing that I care, the only thing that I want is to be able to offer devotional service to you. Birth after birth. Birth after birth. This is the prayer of the Lord. The devotees. The devotees, they do not care if they live in hell or heaven. Whatever situation God puts them, they will accept. It's like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshastakam praise. He says that you can do whatever you want with me. You can do whatever you want, but I always will be your servant. You always be my lover. So this is God consciousness. This is Krishna consciousness. That the only thing that a desire, that a devotee desires, is to be in touch with the Lord, being able to offer devotional service to the Lord. This is Krishna consciousness. So I'm going to read the next verse, which says, Karmaniya nihasya bhavo bhavasate dugashayo taribaya palayanam kalatmanu ya pramada jutashamaha swatman rate kiryatidir vidangiha. Karmani, activities, anihasya, of one who has no desire, bhava, birth, abhavasya, of one who is never born, te, your, Durga, ashraya, taking shelter of the fort, ata, thereafter, aribayad, out of fear of the enemies, palayana, flee, kala atmanaha, of he who is the controller of eternal time, yat, that, pramada, ayuta, in the association of women, asramaha, household life, Swa-atman, in your own self, ratehe, one who enjoys, kiryati, is disturbed, dihi, intelligence, vidam, of the learned, iha, in this world. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, translation by Srila Prabhupada. My Lord, even the learned sages become disturbed in their intelligence when they see that your greatness engages in fruitive work, although you are free from all desires, that you take birth, although you are unborn, and that you flee out of fear of the enemy and take shelter in a fort, although you are the controller of invincible time, and that you enjoy householder life surrounded by many women, although you enjoy in yourself. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Pure devotees of the Lord are not very much concerned with philosophical speculation in regard to transcendental knowledge of the Lord, nor is it possible to acquire complete knowledge of the Lord. So devotees, they don't care about acquiring knowledge about the Lord. The only thing they care is about loving God. This is the nature of Vrindavana-dhamma. When the gopis in Vrindavana-dhamma, they were just simple villagers. They were not scholars. They didn't care about philosophy. The only thing that they cared was to love that little boy, Krishna. That is the nature of Vrindavana-dhamma. Whatever little knowledge they have about the Lord is sufficient for them, because devotees are simply satisfied in hearing and chanting about the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. This is what they care, to hear and chant. This gives them all transcendental bliss, but some of the pastimes of the Lord appear contradictory, even to such pure devotees, and thus Uddhava asked the Lord about some of the contradictory incidents in his pastimes, like Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, he was a pure devotee of Krishna, but he was confused by Krishna's lila, that he stole the cowherd boys, he stole the calves. Although he was a devotee of God, he was a pure devotee, but he was confused. So devotees, they can get confused or try to understand. Not try to understand, as I said, they don't try to understand. They just like to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. The Lord is described as having not to do personally, and it's actually so, because even the creation and sustenance of the material world, the Lord has nothing to do. And the material creation is made by Brahma. He's the secondary creator. And all the universe is created by his plenary portions. Karanodokashai Vishnu, Garbhodokashai Vishnu, Kshirodokashai Vishnu. So these plenary portions, they cause the material creation to come about. Krishna doesn't have anything to do with that. The Lord is describing as having not to do personally. It's actually so, because even in the creation sustenance of the material world, the Lord has nothing to do. It seems contradictory then to hear that the Lord personally lifts the Govardhana hill for the protection of his unalloyed devotees. The Lord is the supreme Brahman, the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead appearing like a man. But Uddhava had doubts whether he could have so many transcendental activities. Like any mundane religionist, made doubts about Krishna being God. That's just little boy being God. How can that little boy be God? So the different religions, they cannot conceive Krishna as being God. Although in the Bible says, in the Bible says, God said, God taught, God did. So who says something? Who does something? Who thinks? It has to be a person. But because we have this idea that material is imperfect, so God cannot be a person. This is craziness. So the religionists, so people, they cannot understand the nature of God. There is no difference between the personality of Godhead and the impersonal Brahman. How then can the Lord have so many things to do, whereas the impersonal Brahman is a state to having not to do either materially or spiritually? If the Lord is ever unborn, how then is he born as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki? So this is a puzzle by religiousness. It's a puzzle. He is fearful even to Kala, the supreme fear. The fear, the personification of fear, is afraid of the Lord. And yet the Lord is afraid of fighting Jarasandha and takes shelter in a fort. So Krishna, he flew from the battlefield. So Jarasandha, he attacked the Lord Krishna for 17 times. And he was always defeated by Krishna, Balaram, and his army. When was the 18th time that Jarasandha tried to conquer Mathura, so Krishna, he fled. He ran away. He ran away the battlefield. He ran and ran, and he went up in a mountain, at the top of the mountain, and he was hidden himself. For this reason, he's called Ranchor, the one who fled, the one who ran away. So, and then Jarasandha thought, wow, this Krishna is a coward. He ran away. And he went after Krishna to destroy Krishna, and he couldn't find Krishna. He was after him in the mountain. And then he knew Krishna was in the mountain, and he set fire on the in the mountain. He set fire on the mountain, And Krishna, on the top of the mountain, 88 miles, he just jumped from the mountain. And he and Balarama saved themselves. But Krishna is no adventurer. So he shows that he is afraid of Jarasandha. But fear personified is afraid of Lord Krishna. So how can one understand that? Only if you are a pure devotee of Krishna. Only if you accept Krishna as he is, as he says, at what he does. For this reason, devotees, they don't try to understand why, how come God can take birth in this material world. No, God can do anything. No? It says that God can make a camel pass through the hole of a pin. So, how can one who is fooling himself take pleasure in the association of men and women? How can he take wives and just like a householder take pleasure in the association of family members, children, relatives and parents? All these apparently contradictory happenings bewilder even the greatest learned scholars, who thus bewildered cannot understand whether an activity is a fact or whether his activities are only imitations. The solution is that the Lord has nothing to do with anything mundane. All his activities are transcendental. When he comes down to this material world and he performs all these activities are just for the pleasure of the devotees, because the devotees, they love to hear Krishna Lila, they love to hear his activities. This cannot be understood by the mundane speculators. For the mundane speculators, there is certainly a kind of bewilderment, but for the transcendental devotees, there is nothing astonishing in this. The Brahman conception of the absolute truth is certainly the negation of all mundane activities, but the Para-Brahman conception is full with transcendental activities. One who knows the distinctions between the conception of Brahman and the conception of the Supreme Brahman is certainly the real transcendentalist. There is no bewilderment for such transcendentalists. The Lord himself also declares in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 2, even the great sages and demigods can know hardly anything about my activities and transcendental potencies. The right explanation of the Lord's activities is given by grandfather Bhismadeva in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.16 as follows. Nahiyasya karhiti rajam pumam veda viditsitam yad vidi gyasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. O King, no one can know the plan of the Lord, Shri Krishna, even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. So this is the situation. So one who is not a devotee of the Lord becomes bewildered by the activities of the Lord. Bewildered, how can he take birth in this material world? How can he run away from a battlefield showing fear? How can he have association of so many women, wives and children? And how can he expand himself in 16,108 wives? So this is a bewilderment for those who are not devotees. And many religionists, many people who are religious, if you tell them about Krishna's activities, they do not accept. They make joke of Krishna. They cannot understand the Rasa Lila, how Krishna can dance with beautiful gopis. So this is a kind of bewilderment. But devotees, they are not bewildered because they know that Krishna, he can do whatever he wants. When the people, religious people, they say God is all powerful. But what's his power if he cannot do anything that he wants? If he is all powerful, he can do anything that he wants. He can place, he can dance with thousands of girls. This is the nature of the Lord. So let's finish here. Thank you so much for hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam, our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Então, see you tomorrow. And if you have any questions, just write down and then in the comment box, and I will answer to you. Let's finish here. All glory Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.